Hello everybody and welcome to the second episode of Beer, Pizza and a Movie.
Hello.
This is Russ.
I waved. This is an audio format. Why did I wave?
Who are you, Russ?
I'm Ross. I am mostly a juggler and all the rest of the time I'm a massive geek.
I'm Harry. I'm a massive geek and looking for a job, so just a massive geek and nothing else really.
Massive geek and unemployed.
Yeah, it's sad. Anyway,
I wonder if there's a correlation.
So this week we are reviewing Batman v Superman.
Dawn of Justice!
In cinema. Today is the opening day.
Yep, I'm excited.
I'm also excited, but partly because I want to get this film watched. Like, this film was announced in 2013.
Yep.
Like, shortly after Man of Steel came out. And, oh my god, there's just been so much.
I'm
much marketing
so
about
sick of the marketing.
Like, we saw a first picture of Batman, like, maybe 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
We saw a picture of Aquaman around the same time. There have been, like, a few little teasers, like, it was at a Comic-Con, somebody filmed it on their phone, and...
Yep, we had that...
Got sued quite a bit.
We had that
money.
DC special with Kevin Smith, which showed us even more footage.
Oh yeah, we
Wonder
saw some
Woman
footage
stuff.
there. We saw maybe 3 full-length trailers.
Yeah, we've had about 40 minutes of footage from this movie.
One of which showed what is clearly the end battle, which we're not going to talk about now.
If you're avoiding the trailers, like you probably should be doing,
Yeah.
then you don't want to hear that.
No,
we
won't say that.
But it's also sponsoring Compare the Market, the car insurance people.
Yeah.
It's also sponsoring
Turkish
Turkish Airlines, and I'm so sick of it. You know what would have got me to see this movie? Release date and a poster.
Yeah.
That's all I needed.
Well, no, I love a good trailer. Because some trailers are outstanding.
Good trailer.
Like, look at Suicide Squad.
That is amazing.
The second trailer for that, which is the one with Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
One good trailer, I can live with. One good trailer and a teaser, lovely. Any more than that is too much. I don't need a Super Bowl spot. I don't need 5 prequel comics, which I haven't read yet,
I read 3
and probably won't.
They were good. They didn't like take away from it or anything. I felt it was more content to actually read. It wasn't like teasing content. You know, because all the trailers and stuff, they're just, this is a bit of the film. This is another bit of the film. Whereas this was all like actual content. This was actual stories.
Fair point. If they are themselves content, not just, here's some more of the movie. Yeah, that's fair.
So that was all good. I
just want to have this movie watched.
I
don't want to have to continue speculating. I don't even necessarily want to see the movie. I want to have seen the movie.
Yeah.
I want it over with. I want to know what it's all about.
Because this
Even
movie
though I already know, because I've seen all the trailers.
the second movie in DC's comic book universe, and Marvel in this summer will release their 13th movie.
I know. About 8 or 9 of which have been out since this movie was announced.
Well, let's see. 2013, we had... that was the year that we had Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers Age of Ultron, Ant-Man.
So we've had
6
movies since this one was announced.
Yes.
Marvel is smashing it.
Well, now DC do have a pretty big lineup announced.
True. I'm sure we'll do an episode when Civil War comes out of DC versus Marvel, who's got the best universe.
Yeah.
But for now, we need to fulfill our obligation from last week, which I mentioned. Batman vs Superman, who's got the worst movies?
Now, there was a good thing we came up with last week. We watched Daredevil.
We'll talk about Daredevil
season
first.
2.
Then we'll talk about
Batman. We won't spoil anything. So we watched Daredevil season 2 in a day, because
that's what we do. 13 hours of TV.
And at the end of it, I came to the conclusion that Daredevil is the best Batman-type character that we have on TV at the moment.
Daredevil's the best Batman.
Because if you compare it to the other ones we've got, so we have Gotham, which is a prequel TV series.
And Batman is 12.
Batman is a 12-year-old boy who's just a bit whiny, trying to find himself, not really doing a good job. And, I don't know, there's a lot of that show which is outstanding. Like, the villains in that are brilliant. Alfred in that, brilliant.
Sean Pertwee, wonderful Alfred.
Incredible. And let's see what else we got. We've got Arrow, which is knockoff Batman with a bow and arrow, who gets all the Batman storylines, like married to Talia al Ghul, trained by the League of Shadows. It's Batman. It's completely just Batman.
Yep.
But just he has a bow and arrow, and he's green, and he's not good.
But Daredevil is the best Batman.
He is.
Obviously, we have to talk about Batfleck after we've seen this movie and see if Batfleck is a better Batman. But at the moment...
Well, the ones I've said, how do they compare with Christian Bale's Batman?
Christian Bale's Batman is pretty current until a few hours from now when we watch this movie.
Yeah.
He was good. I thought he was good, but I think that Daredevil, in the course of season 2 at least, did more being the world's greatest detective than Batman has done in the last 7 movies.
Yeah.
Or any of the TV shows he's in.
Mm-hmm.
Daredevil did some detective work, and Batman hasn't done that yet. Not for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I think, personally, the best Batman is Arkham series of games Batman, of which I've not yet played the most recent one, but I've played up to the most recent one. 3 games total so far. I've not played the 4th. That Batman does detectiving. He breaks people's kneecaps in a really impressive and fun-looking way, and I enjoy playing those games, and that Batman is a great Batman. Good villains, good baddies, good voice acting, good Alfred. Whole 9 yards. The best Batman is either Daredevil or Batman from the computer games. Here's hoping Batfleck does a good job.
Okay, well, I agree, because obviously I want a great Batman. I want this film to be really good, and what are your hopes like for this film?
My hopes. I hope it's good, but I have not got particularly high expectations of that being likely.
I want this,
which is a shame.
I want this, like every film, to be the best film ever.
Yeah.
I want this to be the best superhero film. I want this to be the best Batman or Superman film.
Yep, I would love it, but I don't have high hopes because the more marketing someone throws at something, the less they have faith in it, in my opinion.
Well, what do you think of Star Wars marketing?
A couple of trailers.
I thought
that was alright.
It was a teaser trailer, like about a year and a half before the film came out.
Yeah, I thought they did it well. They teased it out a little bit. They gave us a full-length trailer. I think there was maybe a second trailer, but that was it.
There were 3 full-length trailers.
Nah, that's probably too much. I don't think I watched all of them.
The third one was the best one.
I don't think I saw it. But I saw the movie, and that's more important. When I look back, I don't think which trailer did I enjoy. I think which movie did I enjoy.
Oh, I think about the trailers.
But hopes for this movie, you know what I hope for? Wonder Woman not to be rubbish.
Yeah.
I really hope they get Wonder Woman right. I really hope they throw this in Marvel's face and say, look, you can have a female superhero and she can do her own movie, because that's, of course, on its way. And I want them to do that right. I want her to be as strong as Batman and Superman. I don't want her to be the one who gets the coffee on the team. I want her to kick ass, and I want her to be awesome. And I really hope they don't mess that up, because that is something that could easily ruin this movie for me, and probably a lot of other people.
I'm expecting that they'll do it quite well, because, well, they did Lois Lane pretty damn well in Man of Steel.
That's true.
She worked out Superman with Clark Kent almost instantly.
Yep, that's true.
Which, that's pretty good. That defeats all other Superman films so far.
That's true. Magic kissing the previous Lois Lane to make her forget was awful. But we talked about Superman last week. Yeah. Let's talk about Batman's terrible movies.
Oh, Batman's terrible movies.
Right, so who overall has the best set of movies, Harry?
I'm going to say Batman.
I think I agree.
Because Batman's got a solid trilogy.
Yep.
He's got 4 camp, sort of, just weird movies. They're just odd.
Yeah.
But that's odd now looking back, whereas I imagine if I was in the 80s?
1989 was Tim Burton's first one.
Okay, so if I was in the 80s and 90s, I'd probably enjoy them, because that would be the film of the time. But now I'm comparing it to a film, film from this decade, and it's...
Yes, that's fair.
They don't stand up.
I would say that Superman and Batman have the 4 films, the original set of 4 films. In Superman's case, the Christopher Reeve ones. In Batman's case, the Tim Burton, Joel Schumacher ones. They are pretty much matching one another. Start off with a really good, strong one, then 4, it becomes a total joke of a movie. However, Batman followed that up with the Nolan trilogy, which was, though not perfect, utterly excellent. Whereas Superman followed that up with the utterly despicable Superman Returns, and Man of Steel, which was good.
Man of Steel,
as good as Batman.
Which was good, but depends on Batman v Superman being a really good film. So if Batman v Superman is really good and sort of ties into Man of Steel well enough, then
I agree.
It'll bring it out from being just an okay film to being, that's the start of the universe. That was it.
The problem with tying in a movie is that it's been 3 years since the last one. So the tie-in has to be done quite well.
Yes.
There needs to be a bit of reminding us what happened last time, but not so much that we get bored, which I'm hoping they do well.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, I absolutely agree. Batman has the best movies at the moment in the Batman versus Superman Who's Got the Best Movies competition. Which is not that surprising because Chris Nolan is the first one to have really had a proper crack at Batman.
Yeah.
And he's good. I love Chris Nolan's movies.
So, what do you think this film is going to be? Like, let's just do our rating. Our predicted rating.
Well,
which is
it's difficult to tell. I think
you would watch it again, you would not watch it again, or you would watch it again ironically.
Before we give that, I want to talk about the central premise of this movie. It's not Batman and Superman. It's Batman versus Superman. And I've said 1,000 times running up to this that is a good premise for a scene, but is not a good premise for an entire movie.
Yes.
Now, the problem between the two of them seems to be ideological. Insofar as Batman thinks that Superman is too powerful and wants to knock him down a peg, show him that he isn't invulnerable, show him that humanity can stop him if they want to.
Yeah.
Whereas Superman, neck snapping aside, is worried that Batman is too violent, too vicious. We've seen the brands that he gives people in the trailer, and I think that ideological problem between the two of them doesn't necessarily mean that Batman will be the baddie of this movie, or that Superman will be the baddie of this movie. It's difficult to tell which one it is, but I don't think it's going to be either. It's a good premise for a scene.
Yeah.
But the important thing about Batman fighting Superman is that it cannot be to the death, because if it were, Superman would kill Batman instantly. And Batman doesn't have to beat Superman up to win. This is the important thing. Batman can win this fight simply by proving that Superman can be hurt or can bleed.
That Superman is not a god.
Exactly. In 300, the 300 don't have to defeat the millions of people in Xerxes' army. They held for 5 or 6 days and made Xerxes bleed by the end of it before they were all massacred to bits. They won. They all died, but they won. Batman will win in a fight against Superman if he can prove that Superman can be hurt.
Yeah.
Even if Batman has to die to escape the fight.
Somehow.
In Frank Miller's comic books, that's how he got out. Ideological fight that ended up with Batman hurting Superman and then escaping the fight by having a heart attack and dropping dead. So, spoilers for comic books from the 80s.
Now,
there you go. So, in this movie, that might be how it goes. I seriously doubt Batman's going to die in this movie.
I seriously doubt that too, because
he just has to prove Superman can be hurt.
Yes. Yeah, so predicted rating for this film. Come on, let's do it. I want to wrap this bit up.
Okay, predicted rating for this movie. I want it to be good, but I really think that I will consider this only to be rewatched, ironically, to show other people where DC went wrong. I have a pessimistic prediction, certainly. So I think I will only watch this again, ironically. That's my prediction.
Now let's see. I obviously want it to be a very good film. I want to really enjoy it. I want to enjoy it like I enjoyed Iron Man 1.
Yes.
Like, that was a film to enjoy. And I want this. I don't want it to be that, but I want to have that level of enjoyment to it. Or just like intrigue and just like you think about the plot a little bit. And you come out just like, So that's what I want. I want.
You want to go.
Now, I don't think it's going to be that. My prediction is that I do not want to watch this again after this.
Yeah, I really don't want it to be superheroes punching each other through buildings again.
Yeah.
Because we've seen that.
And who do you think is going to be the best actor?
I think...
Amy Adams?
No, I don't think so. I don't know Amy Adams well enough. She did a decent job before, but
Ben Affleck.
I think Batfleck might be the one, because I've seen him in movies before where he's been terrible. Daredevil. Awful. But Good Will Hunting and Gone Girl were both excellent, and he showed his acting. And I would like to see him be an action hero kind of a guy. And I think he might do a good job. I think Batfleck might be the great actor of this movie. However, in a movie where Jeremy Irons is in it, Jeremy Irons is going to be the best actor, in my opinion. So that's my prediction. Jeremy Irons is going to be the best actor in this movie.
Okay, well, I'm going with Ben Affleck. Mainly because I just recently watched Gone Girl for the second time, and I I don't know, his acting in that was just brilliant. It was sort of a brooding, just like a deep anger. And I think he's going to use a lot of that again in this.
That's true. Yep.
Partly because I think Ben Affleck is the sort of actor who just hates doing things.
Like Turkish Airlines adverts.
Yeah.
Oh, he was so angry in that. He was so angry in that.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, those are our predictions.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Anything else to say?
Finally, that's it.
Yeah, finally we get to see this movie.
Yeah.
See you on the other side.
See you on the other side.
Do you want to do the input?
Yeah.
I'll do the dramatic clap. Well, it's an editing thing. It helps you find where the start is.
It's for video and audio. That's when you use that. Because you see somebody clap and you hear the sound.
No, it's mostly... Shut! Don't release this. Look, it's mostly for me, so I remember where we start talking in our podcast voices instead of talking normally. So you do the introduction after I clap again. It helps me.
I don't like being told what to do. I don't like it. Right, so welcome everybody to... Wait, no, that's the start of the thing.
You're so bad at this! Hello,
We'll
this
get
is the
better.
second half. We have seen the movie. We're really excited.
Oh,
we want to
God.
tell you about it.
Hey. Yeah, so... bloody hell. Coming out of that movie. In fact, so many bits in that movie, and then as soon as it finished,
Yeah.
like, we've really been holding back on talking about this.
Yep.
Because you had the drive back from the cinema.
Incidentally, no post-credit scene.
Yes, just... That's
Just to let you know.
That's the only spoiler-esque thing we'll say in this section. Other than that, no spoilers for the moment.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I'm going to spoil our beer. We are currently drinking Thirsty Ferret from the Badger Brewery, which is in Dorset, England. It is a sort of light brown ale, and it has a lovely orangey, hoppy kind of a flavour. And it is one of my favourites, and I really quite enjoy it. And I'm about half the way down my beer, and I'm a little bit drunk, which is a shame.
yeah, you're lightweight.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Well, you
isn't
gotta
it?
weigh-
Anyway, Thirsty Ferret.
You probably weigh like, what, 3 stone?
Soaking wet, yeah. Thirsty Ferret. Recommended.
Yeah.
The pizzas, on the other hand, are still in the oven, so we can't actually review those.
Yeah, we've come up with a bit of a flaw in this podcast,
Yeah.
which is any time we watch a film in the cinema, we can't eat pizza in the cinema. Apart from in Everyman in Leeds. That's a good one.
That's a good one. We could try that. But also, I can't drink a beer before because I have to drive to the cinema and back.
Yeah.
Usually.
So, big flaw in the podcast.
Yeah. Drink responsibly.
Can't really eat beer or drink... No, I've done it again.
Yeah, you're so terrible. Anyway, let's talk about this movie. Harry, did you enjoy this movie?
I did.
Oh, I enjoyed it so much. It was great.
Yeah. I'm glad it happened.
I'm very glad. I actually I enjoyed being there watching the movie.
Mhm.
It wasn't just a case of got to get through this. I actually enjoyed the movie,
Mhm.
which was great. It's not going to set the world on fire, but it is also a very good addition to the DC world, and I'm excited.
Well, it's half of it.
Well, exactly. And I'm excited to see how the DC world goes forwards with this very strong installment along the way. It's no Avengers Assemble, but it is a very good movie, and I promised myself I wouldn't compare it to Marvel, and I just did.
Well, why did you promise that? What
Well,
stupid things? Well, I'm going to compare it to Marvel.
Yeah. What else am I going to compare it to? Fantastic Four universe or the X-Men universe? Both of which are awful.
Oh, dear.
So, anyway, yes. So we'll compare this movie to Marvel more than anything else.
Okay, so... Well, what can we compare it to in Marvel? Oh, that reminds me. Daredevil.
Daredevil, yes, Daredevil, lots of detecting,
Mhm.
still a very, very, very good Batman.
Yeah.
However, Ben Affleck is also a very good Batman.
Mhm.
And one thing that I really enjoyed throughout the movie, trying to not say any spoilers, is the relationship between him and Jeremy Irons as Alfred. It seemed like their situation, the fact that we have an older Batman this time, the history between those two was just really visible on screen, I thought. We got the older, more experienced, more vicious Batman, and I really liked that. This wasn't Batman in his first year out. This is a 20-year Batman.
This is a Batman who is sick and tired of still doing the same stuff.
Yeah, exactly. We can probably talk more about that post-spoilers.
He's a no-nonsense Batman.
Yes, he is very no-nonsense, this Batman. And it supports my Jeremy Irons was a great actor in this movie argument.
Okay.
I think I was right on that one. He was excellent.
Okay, well, this is part of this section. So are you saying Jeremy Irons was the best actor in the film?
I might actually... he was definitely excellent, as I predicted. I might actually say that Gal Gadot might have been one of the best. She played Wonder Woman really well. I thought she got Wonder Woman very, very right.
It's not necessarily about the acting in that.
True. Part of the writing, the action beats that she was involved in made Wonder Woman quite good.
I think the standout actor from this film, who was doing a lot of overacting, so it can be hard to sort of look through that sometimes. Because like sometimes...
Was it Jesse Eisenberg?
It was definitely Jesse Eisenberg.
He did a lot of overacting.
There was a lot of overacting in that.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
But there were some incredible bits in there.
He chewed some scenery.
Like, there were bits... No.
Yeah. Post-spoilers,
yeah.
We're going to talk about some stuff.
We're going to talk about some stuff.
There's definitely a couple of things to talk about post-spoilers. Mm-hmm. But, what about Best Batman? Who's the best Batman? Is Daredevil still the best Batman?
Oh, that's difficult. It is difficult.
Controversially, I think I know who the best Batman is. It's the Batman from the Lego movie we saw a trailer for in the cinema. That is definitely the best Batman. It's coming out 2017.
Oh,
that Batman is better than Batfleck. It's better than Daredevil. It's better than Batman with bow and arrow. It's better than the Arkham Batman. He's funny. He's entertaining to watch. He was wonderful. Go see the Lego movie 2017.
The Lego Batman movie.
The trailer looks so good. I'm more excited about that than this movie we actually saw. Oh, it was amazing.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
He kicks Alfred into a piano. It's great.
Yeah.
And if you've just tuned in, that's a trailer for the Lego Batman, not something that happens in Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice.
We're not radio. People don't tune in midway through.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
They might have skipped forwards and just heard me say Batman kicks Alfred into a piano.
It's a beautiful quote out of context.
Yeah. So that doesn't happen in Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, but it does happen in the trailer for the Batman Lego movie. Anyway.
Even so, Batfleck or Daredevil? Oh, I still don't know.
I think
I'm saying Batfleck.
He did do a bit of detecting.
He did a lot of detecting.
He was also...
He did a lot.
Like, one good thing about Batman is he can take a beating, and that's why Daredevil seemed a bit Batman-y to me, because he can take a beating too. But Batman can also dish out a beating.
Yes.
And Daredevil doesn't dish out beatings nearly as well as Batfleck dishes out beatings. No. There were definitely some kneecaps being fed to people in that movie.
This was in one of the trailers, in fact. He punched a guy so hard, the guy flipped over and landed on his neck.
Yeah. I'm reasonably certain that this Batman kills people now.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there were so many bits where Batman killed people. I really hope that they're making this Batman someone who's kind of not going to... He's not going to talk about it. He's not going to turn up and say, I don't kill people. Because that would make the character weirdly inconsistent. Because we definitely know he does. Yeah. There was a lot of neck-snappy action. Mm-hmm. And for a guy who doesn't use guns, he used a lot of guns in this movie.
Not many of them were his.
Fair point.
But even so.
Lots of turrets, but lots of guns coming out of the backfield.
If you're gonna be somebody who kills people, if you're gonna be a murderer, then what does it matter what weapon you use?
That's a fair point. If you're going to murder people, you might as well murder people with whatever you've got. And he definitely did murder a few people with his bare hands.
Yes.
Like, that was... Oh, speaking of Batman murdering people with his bare hands, the training montage for Batman, somewhere about halfway through the movie, where we see Ben Affleck training himself. Oh, that was lovely.
Oh, yeah.
That was very nice. Very much enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But while we're talking about comparing Batmans to other Batmans, and specifically this movie compared to previous things...
Oh, just quick. So we decided to introduce a new segment, of which I have no part in whatsoever, and it's called a Ross Rant.
Oh, yes!
Now, there is one of these allowed per podcast.
Do I want to spend my Ross Rant on talking about the Punisher? I'm going to spend my Ross Rant... Let me talk about the Punisher briefly, and then I'll Ross Rant something else.
No. Where Ross will... The rule is that Ross will get a solid 2 minutes, which... I've got a clock on here. You've got 2 minutes to talk. He can finish under that, that's fine. And I'm not allowed to interrupt. 2 minutes on a Ross Rant.
Can I talk about Punisher before my Ross Rant starts?
No, because it's part of it, isn't it?
Not quite. Here's my comment on the Punisher. We had this, is Daredevil the best Batman? But is the Daredevil Season 2 ideological disagreement between Daredevil and Punisher better than the ideological disagreement between Batman and Superman? And did Marvel sneak out their big versus story 1 week before Superman versus Batman came out? Are Marvel being super sneaky about that? And are they saying, we can do it better?
I think they've gone for that.
They knew it, didn't they? They knew that was happening, and they got a good story out. Turns out Batman Superman is also a very good story, so Marvel haven't scooped them. Okay. Rosfran?
Yep, starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
The original Batman series of movies are ridiculous. Why are they always circus performer baddies? In the first one, Batman 1989. Okay, Joker is in it, so his henchmen should be circus performer baddies. That makes sense. There's a few clowns. He's the clown prince of crime. Fair enough. Second Batman, Batman Returns, the baddie is the Penguin. Yet he's got circus performer henchmen again. Why? There are people on stilts. There are fire breathers dressed as devils. What's going on? It's terrible. Circus performers are the baddies in all Batman movies. And then, third one comes out. Two-Face, the Riddler, they're basically circus people themselves. And at one point, Robin fights a gang of people with glow sticks. And speaking as a circus performer who does glow performance once in a while, why do those people suddenly have glow sticks to beat up Robin? It makes no sense. Why are there circus performer baddies again? And then, finally, the fourth one, Joel Schumacher's Batman and Robin. That film was a circus in the offensive sense of the word. It was appalling. But, apparently, Joel Schumacher, before the beginning of filming on any scene, would get a megaphone and tell everyone, remember folks, it's a cartoon! Which slightly explains why that movie is so awful. I love Batman 1989, and I love Actually, I also really like Batman Forever. But, oh god, those films were silly. They were very silly. Alright, can I save up some minutes for next time? Because I think I'm done. Ross, rant over.
Okay, well, you've got 10 seconds left.
Oh wow, that was quite nice. I'll save those 10 seconds for later.
No, you'll get a minute and a half next time, I think.
Fair enough. Okay.
Well, we need to refine the time. We don't want people getting bored because, you're a boring bloke.
I probably had more. Alright, so, what else do we want to talk about this movie? Or do we want to get onto spoilers yet?
Well, so what was our review of it again?
We both really enjoyed it.
We would both watch it again.
Pleasantly surprised, and we would both watch again.
Now, on the card to the cinema, I did... Was it 2 or 4? I don't know.
I can't remember.
I did think of another thing to add to our little rating system, which is we would pay money to go and see it again at the cinema.
That's an A+.
Yes.
Given
now, for
that we
for
might
example,
see it again.
Star Wars Episode 7, I saw it 3 times in the cinema.
Twice. For me.
So Star Wars gets an A++.
A++.
Whatever. This film, given that rating, I would still only see it again. I would not see it again in the cinema.
I wouldn't go to the cinema to see it again. It was a great movie. I really enjoyed it, but I don't feel like there's any particular part of it where I would understand or enjoy it more if I went to see it again within a couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. When it comes out on DVD, I'm sure I will watch it again, and we will probably do a marathon. Mm-hmm. We'll probably watch Man of Steel and that again before Suicide Squad.
Well, no, because that's like 2 months from now.
No, that's true. Probably won't do that.
I'm not watching Man of Steel again this year.
Oh god, no, that's a fair point. Alright, we'll save that for our DC marathon to maybe running into Justice League or something. Yeah. But I will definitely watch this movie again, but I won't pay to see it at the cinema again. I don't think there's not a lot of layering in it, really. There's not a lot more to see. Yeah, I would quite like to see Batman snap that guy's neck a couple more times.
What's in the trailer? You can watch it all.
It's in the trailer, that's true! I can watch that over and over and over again.
Okay, so that concludes the spoiler-free section of this podcast, and so from now on we are going to be talking about spoilers for Batman v Superman. So if you don't want to know anything, if you haven't seen the movie, and you really, really just don't want to know a thing,
turn off now, please.
Turn off right now, because we are going to spoil everything.
The first thing I say after this sentence, and Harry has said spoiler warning one more time, is going to be a huge, giant, massive spoiler. You have been warned. If you don't want this movie spoiled, tune out now.
So a big, massive spoiler, and we're going to start at the end of the movie. Go.
Superman dies!
Superman dies.
Superman dies. He gets killed to bits.
Well,
how did I not predict this? Doomsday is in this movie, I should have walked into the cinema saying 100% Superman's gonna die. He's gonna be beaten to death by Doomsday, because that's what Doomsday's for.
Why should you make that prediction? Is that what happened in the comics?
Yes. In the comics, Doomsday only was... Basically, Doomsday was created to be, hey, everyone likes the Hulk. You know what we need? We need the Hulk. What colour should we make him? Grey. Anything else? Spikes. So, Hulk turns up, who is Doomsday, and beats Superman to death.
Mm-hmm.
Not a wonderful self-sacrifice, not like anything particularly storyline based. He just gets beaten to death by Doomsday.
Yeah.
And he dies, and that precipitates one of the silliest comic runs I've ever heard of.
Just quickly run that down for us.
Oh god. 4 versions of Superman pop up. One's from space, one's a robot, one's a computer, and one's just a kid called the Metropolis Kid who has Superman's powers.
And these are just people, just random people, just claiming to be
the
resurrection of Superman.
Exactly, and they all have Superman's powers, but then one of them murders all the rest of them, and then real Superman turns up with a mullet and a gun for no good reason, and kills that one remaining one, and then everything goes back to normal again. I really hope that the next Superman movie isn't that.
Well, we're getting Justice League before we're getting Man of Steel 2.
In which case, they're not doing that. Almost certainly.
They're not doing
Thank
that.
God.
But the closing scene of the film was just the soil on his coffin just rising up a little bit.
So Kryptonian death coma.
So, like, yeah, we obviously know that he's coming back because there's Man of Steel 2, there's 2 Justice League movies.
He makes far too much money for them to have killed him right now.
Exactly. So it's just, how is it that he's going to come back? Is this going to be the ridiculous power that Superman has, that if he dies, he goes into a coma and comes back to life?
Well, he already had that, basically. Even when he didn't have his 1970s sort of full plethora of powers, he still had the ability to come back to life. Kryptonian death coma, basically. Possible. And I should have seen it because that's what Doomsday was for.
What, killing Superman?
Yeah. He was created...
Lex Luthor said that, didn't he?
Well, that's true.
When
he created... So there was a nice little crossover there to say Doomsday was made for the purposes of killing Superman. Which is a little bit of a meta-commentary on the comic books, because they made him to kill Superman. Which is interesting. It leads on to a whole big storyline in the comic books, actually, which is probably worth a read. So I believe it's the Blackest... It turns into the Blackest Night storyline, which involves the Green Lantern Corps and such, and it's very interesting, and I won't cover it now, because it's covered online in a whole lot of extra detail, and I've only read bits of it.
Yeah.
But look it up, it's interesting. But yeah, Doomsday. It's kind of like Gwen Stacy in The Amazing Spider-Man. Spoilers for Amazing Spider-Man 2. Doesn't matter, it's not a very good film. Gwen Stacy dies, because that's the purpose of Gwen Stacy. Spider-Man's girlfriend who dies. So the purpose of Doomsday is to kill Superman. How did I not 100% predict that going in? However, it was done well, I think. It was more of a self-sacrifice than in the comics, where he was just beaten to death.
Because like he did say goodbye to Lois.
Yep.
In a way, like I don't understand why though. Because did he know that he was going to die? Like he was holding a kryptonite spear.
Yeah.
Which, for one thing, how could he still fly with a kryptonite spear?
Superman's immunity to kryptonite starts to grow over time, and he can literally force himself past being weakened by kryptonite. In the same way that, like a human being who's trapped under a car can lift a car, even though, well, not lift a car, but at least push a car sideways a little bit to get themselves out.
Yes.
Like adrenaline or whatever. Feats of amazing strength. They're possible. And Superman forced himself to do that, and it was quite a heroic move, I think. The kryptonite spear being the only thing that could kill Doomsday, as they worked out, but he knew that he'd be weak and would be grappling with Doomsday.
Now, I've got to say, with that spear, great that Batman made it and all that, but at the end of the Batman v Superman fight, you know, the one where they actually fought Batman within the armour and like... Well,
wonderful fight.
A wonderful fight, and then Batman just threw away the spear at the end. Like, you wouldn't do that. Even if, like, yes, I'm not going to kill Superman. Like, I don't need this because I'm not going to kill Superman. You don't want it to fall into the wrong hands.
That's true. Yeah, I think that was a bit strange.
He just threw it away.
Could have taken that with him in the Batwing.
And then, and then Lois, she just put it in a puddle.
Yeah, that was a weird move. I felt that was a little bit MacGuffin.
Because that's not also getting rid of it. That's just putting it somewhere else.
I did think that was weird.
To be found, but would still be found.
When she dropped the spear in that pool, I thought they're going to have to get that back again for a reason.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is, and it's going to create some unnecessary tension later. And that's exactly what it did do.
Yeah, so I don't like that because...
That was poorly done,
I don't like Batman making a bad decision. And that was
because he's Batman.
And that was a bad decision.
Yeah. This is a Batman who has to form the Justice League. That puts him on a level of Batman that no Batman in movies has ever been before.
Which I'm looking forward to because...
I am too.
We talked about this with my housemate and weeks ago this was, about what this Batman is like and what sort of things he's going to be doing. And she was saying, oh no, I really like a Batman who's just like fighting street criminals and who's just fighting the Joker or fighting Bane or something like that.
We've had that.
And we've had that and it was done really well. And now we're having a much more cosmic Batman, would you say?
Yeah, cosmic Batman.
I don't know, but it's Justice League Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than
Christian Bale's Batman would be useless in the Justice League.
Definitely.
Whereas Ben Affleck's
actually.
Batman, well, also Christian Bale's Batman, by the end of it, had maybe 3 years of being Batman plus 5 years of being retired or something.
Well,
this Batman's had 20 years of being Batman.
Well, I'm wondering what Batman is actually going to be like because in the final battle of this, Batman, he just did a lot of running away. If you actually think about it, he was just there with his grapple gun, just like swinging from buildings like
because
Spider-Man.
he's a human
Yeah,
a fight among gods.
Yeah, but isn't that the point of this Batman?
Yeah,
is that he can fight among gods?
He can fight among gods, but that doesn't mean he can have buildings land on his head. He is still a man. He's a genius, and he's a wonderfully trained guy, and he is capable, but that doesn't make him invulnerable. He still has to fight smart. He still has to run away when appropriate. He can't have buildings land on his head.
Yeah.
So when Wonder Woman...
But like he didn't do anything in that fight.
Well, when Wonder Woman and Superman and Doomsday are trading punches, which include knocking buildings over,
yes, but
Batman has to run away a bit.
Yeah, but I thought Batman was going to be the one to just go and grab the kryptonite spear. And if he had not thrown that away earlier in the film, he would have it and just be like, well, that's my superpower for this fight.
Yep, stabby stab, done.
And then it would have made him relevant to the fight, whereas he was not relevant to the fight at all. It was supposed to be the Holy Trinity fighting Doomsday.
Yes.
And it wasn't.
True, but...
It was Wonder Woman doing most of the fighting with Doomsday, while Superman was off trying to get a kryptonite spear and having romantic times with Lois.
But
Wonder Woman was holding Doomsday. She was...
Going back to my, did they do Wonder Woman well? Yes. Wonder Woman fought Doomsday one-on-one and chopped bits off him.
Yeah.
Like, Wonder Woman was doing better against Doomsday than Superman and Wonder Woman together were. Superman was mostly getting in the way. But
Superman couldn't have done that. He couldn't have held Doomsday like that.
He tried, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
He failed. He got beaten up. But Batman couldn't just go grab the spear and run in and stab Doomsday, because Doomsday also has super speed, which Batman doesn't have. The reason why...
Yeah, but if there was a distraction, for example, Wonder Woman...
stabbing him.
Wonder Woman stabbing him and holding him with a lasso, and then Batman could have just sort of crept up behind him and just gone...
Maybe. But Superman stabbed him with the kryptonite spear, and it got him killed. If Batman had done that, it would have got him killed.
I don't think it would. I think Batman would be smart enough to just sort of stab him and leave.
Stab him and run away.
That's
a fair point.
Like Superman just stayed there. He just stabbed him like, ha! Ow!
That is reasonably true. But I think that Batman... Doomsday could potentially have avoided Batman stabbing him. I think the reason Batman is better than everyone else is because he can work out their weaknesses.
Batman can hide really well, though, as well.
Batman is good at hiding.
Would somehow, I don't know, magic or whatever, he'd just use the darkness to his side, and Doomsday just wouldn't see him coming.
It's possible, but... and I mean, Batman's fought Darkseid in the comic books and in the TV show. But as soon as Darkseid actually starts trying to attack Batman and isn't distracted, Batman gets beaten silly.
Well, that brings us on to the next point. What did you think of the Darkseid stuff?
Interesting.
Darkseid stuff being the stuff in the post-apocalyptic desert where...
Yeah. So Batman can predict the future in his dreams.
Yeah, what's with that?
And a guy from a wormhole can lean through and talk to him, also in his dreams.
In a dream, yeah. So first of all, we had a dream within a dream, it turns out, which was, well, looked like a desert, but I think was actually Metropolis and Gotham. Post-apocalypse.
Yes. And we had what looked like Darkseid's parademons siding with what looked like Superman cultists in a world where Superman is evil. But
not necessarily evil.
Mad.
Actually,
mad at Batman.
No, I'm going to say evil. because he was
He murdered those guys.
working with Darkseid.
He definitely murdered a bunch of guys too.
Yeah.
Possibly not working alongside Darkseid, but definitely murdering guys.
These guys which were strung up by their wrists there,
Yeah.
Superman cut them in half.
With his heat vision.
They'd still just be hanging there.
Yep. Gruesome.
And then
very horrible.
Just sort of like punched Batman in the chest. Through the chest, I should say.
Yep. Killed Batman. So in this nightmare vision of the future that Batman had, Superman seems to have cultists, and Batman's team seem to betray him, and Darkseid's parademons are definitely there, and I spotted this as well. There was a giant Omega symbol carved into the ground.
Well, we all spotted that.
Which is definitely a Darkseid thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking when Darkseid turns up, he's going to be doing what he's always doing, looking for the anti-life equation to try and wipe out life on all worlds, all in one go.
Well, okay. I don't really know much about Darkseid. I know that he's scary.
He's scary. He's from the planet of Apocalypse, which he practically ruined by becoming in charge of it, and he's very scary.
Cool. Well,
but that post-apocalyptic scene still doesn't really answer much. I'm not quite sure why it went in the trailers, because the movie didn't tell us anything.
Well, it went in the trailers to help the build-up for the rest of the DC universe.
Oh, I suppose so, yeah. As in, I wonder what this is.
Because we saw the Flash we saw the Flash then, like, coming back from the future a little bit. That's what that was.
Was that the Flash?
Yeah, did you not... Did you miss that?
Could have been anybody.
It was definitely the Flash.
How did you work out that that was the Flash?
He was wearing the Flash's costume and stuff.
He was wearing it was closer to Ant-Man's costume than
but then when the helmet came up, he was still wearing, like, the red...
No, I'm not absolutely convinced that that's the Flash, but it would make sense that the Flash is the one who can...
And I had the Flash's wispy facial hair that I don't like.
It makes sense it could be, if not the Flash, then a Flash, because...
It was Ezra Miller. It was the actor Ezra Miller.
Right. I'll buy that, but it wasn't the same Flash that we saw on that footage.
Yes, it was.
Alright, I'm going to have to rewatch this film. Okay.
To be fair, there are all sorts of wormhole energy and a...
It would make good sense if it was the Flash, because the Flash is the one who always travels through time to tell Batman useful information. Speaking of the Flash, we saw that Batman stole some technology or some information from Lex, which included information on metahumans. Now, he already had met Wonder Woman at this point and worked out she was something, but I don't think he knew everything. It told him about Cyborg, Flash, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman, and it gave them the cameos we knew they were going to be.
In fact, is that everybody for the Justice League?
It's a large portion. The Martian Manhunter is the only main one missing.
Okay. Well, I don't think he's going to be part of the films.
Not straight away, certainly.
Because
he's a weird
part
character.
Of the awesome Supergirl universe. Oh, yeah. That's...
Supergirl is, of course, in the Justice League too, but probably won't be in this Justice League. But the point is, I actually wonder if this takes away from Batman a little bit.
Why?
Because he only worked out who these metahumans were and who Wonder Woman was and matched her to Diana Prince, who he'd already met, because he nicked the information from Lex.
Was that information that he already had?
I think he nicked it from Lex, because he found that picture of Wonder Woman with Chris Pine standing next to her from World War II.
I think he found that from Lex. He found a lot of things from Lex.
I think those files...
I think that those files that he already had, the folders he already had, with logos on them and everything...
were maybe his own
I
that
think,
he had just
I think
added
they were his.
to.
Yeah.
Interesting. I hope that's the case, because I really hope that Batman isn't a genius, because he steals good information from other geniuses. Because one of my favourite scenes in all of Batman's continuity is when the Justice League are trying to hide, and they say and the Flash says something like, well, maybe, Wonder Woman says we should take off our superhero costumes and wear regular costumes. It'll make it easier for us to hide. And the Flash says, oh, well, I don't think I'm ready to reveal my secret identity to you guys. You know, I think that I don't trust you enough yet. And Batman just goes around the circle and says, Clark Kent, Wally West, Diana Prince, and by the way, I'm Bruce Wayne. Takes his mask off. And and everyone else in the Justice League is sort of, oh, all right, fair enough.
That's that done.
Yeah, so good. Batman knew who we all were. It also comes up, I think, the movie Doom, in which the Legion of Doom steal Batman's plans for neutralising the entire Justice League.
Yeah.
And they neutralise the entire Justice League using Batman's secret plans, and then neutralise Batman using an idea of their own. And the only one that doesn't work is the one to neutralise Batman. because he subsequently survives and then saves the rest of the Justice League.
Yeah.
And they all say to him at the end, once the crisis is over, why exactly do you have plans to take us all out? And he just says, well, just in case. And so, Mr. Batman, what is your plan if you go rogue? Like, well, the rest of the Justice League, of course. His plan for if he goes evil is the entire rest of the Justice League could maybe stop him. Well done, Batman. You are the most dangerous man on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And this Batman, this Ben Affleck, this Batfleck, could be that scary.
Yeah, he
could be that powerful.
Could.
He could take on an entire team of super mutants.
Because it looks like he
super
forms
enemies.
the Justice League.
Yes. Yes, that's what we see at the end.
Yeah.
I'm going to find the metahumans and make them fight for us.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So him and Wonder Woman form the Justice League because of the death of Superman.
Ooh, that is an interesting point. That would change the continuity hugely. Because normally, Superman forms the Justice League. In this case, he inspires it.
Yeah, which I think is great, because I want Batman to just be better at everything. He needs to be the best person in the Justice League. He needs to be the leader of the Justice League.
Because no one else in the Justice League, certainly in the main team of the Justice League, is just a human. Everyone else is superhuman.
Yeah.
And not just a little bit superhuman. Not just, oh, I can see really well in the dark. Not just, oh, I've got quite good reflexes. No, these guys are superhuman, destroy the entire world if they tried to, kind of people. And Batman isn't.
I'm really looking forward to the Aquaman movie. I forget when it's coming out, but
that could be good.
That Aquaman teaser that we had in the film,
I liked that.
That was brilliant.
I did like that. So, we said Jesse Eisenberg might have been one of the best actors in this movie. What were the moments that made Jesse Eisenberg the best actor in this movie?
Now, the closing scenes with him...
Oh.
That was overacting. That was a lot of overacting.
That was overacting like crazy. He was chewing through those prison bars.
Yes. And also, I'm happy with his hair situation.
Yes! Yes! The hair was real hair.
Yeah.
But now he can be mad at Superman for lots of things, including losing his hair.
I doubt he'll do that.
Yeah, well, it's a little nod to the original storyline that Superman's actions led to Lex losing his
comics,
hair.
Actually, he was just bald from the get-go in the films.
That's true.
Which I like. That's what
I
prefer.
In the Superman, Gene Hackman was just bald, wearing a really unconvincing wig.
Yeah. But yeah, so there was that bit, which was there was a lot of overacting. The bit that I did appreciate, which is why I picked him for best actor in this film, was there was the scene on the rooftop with Superman, him and Superman.
Oh, the blackmail scene.
Yeah, when he basically caused the Batman v Superman fight. Like that bit, he was doing all this threatening to Batman and everything, but he was shaking. Like, he was terrified.
Yeah, he knew he was playing a dangerous
that was it. Like, he was on top, but he was scared.
Because he knew the Batman could kill him with a flick of the wrist.
Superman
was the one who was there, not Batman. I'm going to eat a beer and drink a pizza and can't tell the difference between the two people in this movie. Great. The Punisher was standing on a rooftop. That guy from Zombieland was standing on a rooftop. Is that even him?
What are we talking about?
I don't know. Mark Zuckerberg is standing on a rooftop with that guy from Stardust. It's terribly confusing for me because I can't understand how movies are made.
Oh, that's what Henry Cavill and Charlie Cox, both from Stardust.
Oh yeah,
nice, very nice.
So, Superman versus Daredevil, as seen in that Neil Gaiman adaptation. Yeah. I've mentioned Neil Gaiman in every single podcast so far. Granted, it's only been two.
What did you think of Neil deGrasse Tyson being in?
I thought that was amazing.
Oh, I love him.
I love Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Love him.
He's wonderful. Yeah, I think that Jesse Eisenberg was great in this movie, but I don't think he was as good as Jeremy Irons, who I think nailed the Batman-Alfred relationship.
I think it's an easier role to nail.
But
I don't think it takes much to nail it, and a lot of that was just down to the script.
That's fair, but some of it was great because it was, we're both old now, and I thought that was great. I thought it wasn't Alfred taking care of a young Bruce Wayne. Well, it wasn't Alfred taking care of the first year of being Batman.
I actually heard that Alfred's not his butler in this. He's officially his bodyguard.
Yeah, he's his engineer. He is not Bruce Wayne's butler.
He's Bruce Wayne's bodyguard.
That's his cover.
And then he's Batman's engineer.
Exactly. He is more Batman's engineer than he is Bruce Wayne's butler now.
Yeah.
Which I think is great. And he's certainly not his de facto guardian either, because this Batman is all grown up and stuff.
What do you think of the Batman Origins? So basically the opening credits.
I like the fact they got it over with quick.
Yeah, they did.
I would have liked to have not even seen it at all, frankly.
No. I'm very happy with it.
Because we all already know it.
Well, yeah, but they did. That's why they did it.
However,
the way they did it.
It was a good opening credits.
It was. I think it was. I preferred it to the Batman Begins one. Obviously,
Which overdid it a bit.
It didn't necessarily overdo it. It just did it in a way that hadn't been done before. Because I think before that we had, the Batman '89 movie, where it was done quite briefly and wrong, because it was the Joker.
Because it was the wrong person shooting his parents.
Whereas this one, whoever did it, Joe Chill, let's guess. You see his face and everything. There's no mystery, which is what the Gotham TV show is based around.
Yep, it's all about that.
It's just this guy killed his parents. That's it.
Random act of violence, which I quite like. It's not a conspiracy. It's just what inspires Batman.
And it haunts Bruce.
Yep.
Like now and for the rest of his life, like it would for any
person,
normal 12-year-old boy.
Also, I'm more excited for the concept of the Flashpoint paradox. Let me talk about the Flashpoint paradox.
Well, we don't know if that's going to happen.
It might, and it'd be awesome.
Well, I mean, anything could happen. Any Flash story could happen.
True.
In the Flash movie. I don't know when that's coming out either.
Well, it would stop being a Flash movie and it'd start being another Batman movie, but with a non-Bruce Wayne Batman.
Yeah.
I really want to see a non-Peter Parker Spider-Man. I want to see a non-Steve Rogers Captain America. I want to see a non-Bruce Wayne Batman. And at the moment, the most likely candidate for that is the Flashpoint paradox, now that we've got Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Thomas Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't have cast someone that awesome and relatively well-known, at least among comic book fans, to be Thomas Wayne if they weren't going to do an alternate universe where he becomes Batman and where Martha Wayne becomes the Joker, because that'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be so awesome. There's also another alternate reality where Alfred is the Joker, which I would also like to see. Well, do you know about that one?
I do.
Yeah,
it's just so sweet.
So for the listeners who aren't aware, Alfred decides in one of the universes to become the Joker so that Bruce has a job to do. He literally becomes the Joker to keep Bruce busy. And it is so weird and horrible and odd, and it's not main canon.
Wow, imagine if it was.
Oh god, Jeremy Irons would be an awesome Joker.
He would.
The Joker has been played by some very talented actors.
It's because it's such a big role.
That's true.
That you only cast the best people these days.
Also true.
I think Jared Leto's Joker is going to be amazing.
I can't wait for Suicide Squad. It's going to be good.
Yeah. Also, we didn't really see much about the that Robin suit, did we?
No, that was... I didn't mention this in the run-up part of the podcast, but it is a mystery that we haven't... that was not spoiled by the trailers, and it's a mystery that we still haven't seen, and I don't see Suicide Squad being the kind of movie that will go back and explain it either.
Do a flashback. No, I agree. We know that obviously the Joker's in it, but we also know that Batman's in that movie. I think just for a scene.
Possibly very briefly.
I think it's a flashback scene as well.
Quite possibly. Maybe that scene is literally all it needs to explain it.
Yeah.
Maybe they won't explain it.
And I think that's going to be from the Joker's perspective. But I don't think it's going to be that, because I think that'd be too big. I think that's going to come in the first Batman movie, called The Batman.
Yeah,
and then they will do the Red Hood storyline.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the Red Hood storyline, actually.
Well,
I don't think.
Let's not talk about
Let's
it.
not talk about it. But it would be nice to see, certainly in the history with the death in the family and all that, I know which Robin it is likely to be who's died, and it's not likely to be the Robin that became Nightwing. I would like to see Nightwing as a hero in the DC world. That'd be cool. And we've got an old enough Batman that Nightwing could have grown up learning from Batman and be his own superhero now.
Oh, yeah.
If we had Batman Year
Nightwing
1,
movie?
we're not going to get that. Nightwing movie would be awesome.
Ooh,
I'd love to see that.
Or Nightwing Netflix series.
Ooh.
Now that would be something.
That would be DC really stepping up and doing it right.
Yeah.
I think.
That's
if they get it right. So long as it's not
they,
terrible.
They would, because Netflix got a lot of shows just right.
That's true, but DC get a lot of shows really wrong.
Yes, they do.
Having watched 2 episodes of Supergirl and a couple of episodes of The Arrow.
Oof.
And also, I really don't like Legends of Tomorrow. I've seen an episode. I don't want to see any more.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well,
I thought it'd be right to be.
There's about 19 people in it, and I don't care about any of them. 2 of them form into one superhero for no good reason. I don't care. DC, I want more movies. Less TV shows.
Okay, well...
Having started to catch up on Agent Carter, though, Marvel, excellent.
Oh, really?
I'm really enjoying Agent Carter.
That's been a low
Let's not talk about
series.
that, though.
We could talk about that for ages as well.
Yeah, we could talk... we'll probably talk about Agent Carter before the next... before we talk about Civil War on the podcast, which
Likely,
is like a month from now.
I know, it was good, right?
We are definitely not going past Civil War without doing a podcast on it.
Okay, so to go slightly back on topic, what do you think is going to be the better film? Batman v Superman or Captain America Civil War? Given that they are two fairly similar movies, they're taking the two most popular superheroes in that franchise and putting them against each other.
Good question. Well, it seems to me like Civil War might be entirely Cap versus Iron Man. Whereas, certainly there's speculation of baddies in that, but it might be entirely those two fighting each other. Whereas this movie, Batman v Superman, was one scene where Batman fights Superman.
Yes.
Which was good. I've said this all along. It's a good premise for a scene, not a good premise for an entire movie. And in the end, I like the fact that it was a fight that was engineered by Lex Luthor to basically trick them into fighting each other, because I struggled to work out how their ideological differences could lead to them punching the heck out of each other.
Well, it tricked Superman into doing it. Batman was fully for it.
Batman was ready to fight him. He wasn't ready to murder him to death.
Also,
I don't think.
No, he was.
Potentially.
Batman was about to outright kill Superman. He was about to stab him with a spear until Lois Lane stepped in.
That's true, but...
And it just turned out that because their mothers had the same name...
He got all confused.
Which doesn't make any sense. Why would Superman be saying, but Martha...
Because he is trying to hide the fact he's still Clark Kent.
Yeah,
because Martha is Clark Kent's mum, not Superman's mum. That's why. And also, he was probably quite badly concussed at this point.
Maybe, yeah.
Remember, this is
Lois Lane did, run up to him going, Clark. So...
yeah, also, I wasn't sure at the time, but I think looking back on it, I like the fact that they knew who each other's secret identities were quite quickly, and there didn't have to be a whole load of secret... Ooh, I wonder who that is, kind of stuff. They just knew. I like that.
Can't be asked with reveals like that. I just don't want it.
Yeah, I agree.
Like Batman and Wonder Woman, at least, already know who the Flash is.
Yes, that's true, because they both have access to that stuff.
Or know what his face is, at least.
Yep.
Aquaman, I don't really think has dual identities.
Nope.
Cyborg, probably the same.
Nope. Cyborg doesn't have a secret identity either. He is a guy who died and was brought back as a cyborg, but he still goes by his real name, which I don't know.
Also, do you think that Perry White, Lawrence Fishburne's character, do you think he knows who Superman is?
I think he does.
Do you think that he knows Superman and Clark Kent are the same person?
I think he does. I think he's smart enough to have said far too often, hey, Superman's gone missing. Hey, Clark's gone missing. He said that 4 times in that movie.
I think he said it. I think he said it twice, and then you saw him pick up a paper at the end that said Superman's dead,
which he presumably wrote.
Turn the page, and then see Clark Kent is dead,
which he presumably also wrote.
Yeah, so
because he's the editor of the paper. He, if not writing it, then at least instructed someone to do so and okayed it. So yes, I think he knows.
What do you think was in that coffin at the end? The national funeral they had for Superman.
Empty coffin. Batman said so.
There's got to be something in it, or else everyone would know there was nothing in it. The
symbolic. It was symbolic. They knew. Everyone knew it was an empty coffin. How they managed to explain where his body was, uncertain. How they managed to successfully get the body away from the government so that they could bury Clark without the government finding out who Clark was.
Probably Batman did it.
Batman did it. Exactly. So much stuff can be explained by Batman did it.
Yeah.
It's the DC Universe equivalent of Wizard did it from any kind of fantasy, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that sums up that movie quite nicely.
Yeah, I think that we're finished. Right? Well,
yeah, I'm hungry. We've got pizzas in the oven.
Oh, yeah. Perhaps.
They're from Asda. I have no idea if they're any good, so we can't review them.
I'm going to give them a preemptive thumbs up.
Preemptive thumbs up on the pizza. Yep. Preemptive, definite thumbs up on the Thirsty Ferret from Badger. Very good. Badger, if you would like to send us free beer, we will drink it. And keep saying it's good if it is.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think that's definitely the end of the podcast now. Right, what did we say at the end? email us. No, we want feedback. That's it, feedback. This is our second podcast, so we still don't know what we're doing. We want to know everything that you've thought about, I don't know, just the quality of our podcasting, like...
And what you think of Batman vs Superman.
Of course. That's much more interesting to talk about.
Yep. Who would... tweet at us with who would win between Batman and Superman in any other competition you can think of. Who would win a game of chess? Who would win in a running competition? Who would win in whatever you can think of? Batman versus Superman, every other competition imaginable, Olympics.
Sumo wrestling.
Superman.
Damn.
See, it's relatively easy. Tweet at us anyway. Pie eating competition.
Pie eating competition. Oh, I like
Tweet at us who would win between Batman versus Superman in an ice skating / pie eating competition.
Yep.
Hashtag Batman versus Superman. Let's see if we can piggyback the hashtag Batman versus Superman. Hashtag Beer Pizza Movie.
Of course. So you can get us on Twitter at Beer Pizza Movie, like Ross just said. That was our Twitter handle. You can get us on Facebook, Beer Pizza and a Movie. Gmail, beerpizzaandamovie@gmail.com.
Yep. Send us emails.
All that stuff. Like, give us as much feedback as you can. Give us whatever fights you can think of and who would win or who would draw.
Yep. Also, any suggestions for what movie to watch next week? Because we've
got Citizen Kane next week.
Oh, God.
We're watching Citizen Kane just to prove to you all that we're not just nerds. We're going to watch a film that Ross doesn't want to watch and I haven't seen.
Yeah.
So,
we'll see.
And maybe, sometime in the future, we'll watch 50 Shades of Grey.
I am vetoing 50 Shades of Grey. I don't want to see it. But please tweet at us movies you would like us to review. Citizen Kane next week, apparently.
That's what we're watching.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you all. And see you. Well, not see you. You'll hear us next week. Bye.
Bye.